My name is Sarah Rae. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the overview of Retroactive album. Oh my god, I can't believe we are here. That flew by so fast. I always feel like these albums, they go by so quick. Let's talk about the album. So, I really enjoyed this album a lot. And I felt like it was more of a cohesively sound album than our previous album we listened to, which was Adrenalized. I'm going to make a lot of comparisons between the two here because that is the best way I can tell you my feelings on this album. So first things first, I think it had a great opener. I have the track listings pulled up. It's going to help me think and remember and tell you my opinions best. So I think it had this great opener with Desert Song. Very much packed a punch. Very great opener. I loved it. That song, and it followed by with Fractured Love. Great. I loved those two songs immensely. They were phenomenal. To open with these two songs was the best they could have done on this album. It really set the tone on what this album was going to be like, the tones of it. And it really was more of a heavier sounding, back to their kind of roots, that more rock edge to it, but with a little more grunge, and it was nice. So we no longer have that little poppy in there, you know. I had an issue with the vocals in this album. That bothered me. I feel like the vocal mixes in this album, it seemed like they weren't high. Like they sounded low. There was times where I had a hard time hearing his vocals, Joe Elliott's vocals, or some of the boys' vocals. Like it sounded like they were too low or the instruments were too high, and it happened throughout the album. It wasn't just one song, it was a few songs, and that's the only downside of this album, was that the volume of the vocals were a little wonky. Other than that, this was a great piece of work. There were very few songs that I didn't like very few, like minimum, like maybe one or two that I wasn't feeling. Other than that, I really enjoyed a lot of these songs. The other thing I did not like about this album was that there were so many different versions of a song. I don't think you need that many versions of one song. Like, okay, Two Steps Behind, there's two versions of it. You don't need two versions of it because one, the acoustic version was the best, my opinions, letting you know, my opinion. The acoustic version was the best version. It's the best way to put off the emotions that was being put in, and it didn't need to release the electric version. I don't feel like it was needed. If you're going to make an album, you can save those versions, right, for maybe like bonus tracks on, like, but how do I put this? Have 14 songs, right? Take out those different versions and put them as a little extra, little bonus tracks. If you want to do it that way, like put them elsewhere, or don't release them. We didn't need 3 million of Miss You in a Heartbeat. You only needed one. I just don't understand why we needed so many of them. Because I feel like we could have put in place songs that could have been heard, you know, body of work that really could have fit in the album. I know, have so, again, this is what I kind of mentioned on the Adrenalized album, with some of the songs that I felt like didn't fit on the album. I know they have to have a lot of songs, okay? For instance, completely different genre, but it still fits, alright? So stick with me here. Taylor Swift just released her re-recorded Red album, right? How many songs did she release that weren't on the original album? I don't know, like 10? I'm being serious. I think it was like 10. Probably more like 7. But around 7 to 10 songs, okay? So, you know, they have a lot of songs that they write and have in their repertoire. I said that wrong. You know what I'm saying? That they could use in place of these different versions that we could have had that would have been amazing and incredible. But we don't know that because they didn't take that chance. And we really could have had a different song than Make Love Like a Man. But in this case, we didn't need a million versions of Miss You in a Heartbeat. We could have had a new song that really could have been something else. Something, who knows? It could have been a huge hit. We'll never know. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? But we'll never know. And I understand a lot of those were recorded previously, but some of them were recorded with Viv. So why not record some of them with Viv? I just don't understand why they didn't go that route. So that's the only thing. Other than that, I love the sound of this album. That more darker side of them, I liked that creeping out. This gives them 2 different directions that they can go. They can go grunge or they can go more harder rock, so it gives them different pathways they could go. This sets them up to do a lot of different avenues. I loved just the concept of this album. Almost has this like love and heartbreak type of sound to it. At the same time, it has this rough texture. Now, they say this is going to be the end of Steve Clark era, but I don't think they're gonna say goodbye or can say goodbye to Steve Clark. And that is because I think Steve Clark will always be with them, because his impact will forever be a fundamental part of who and what Def Leppard is. So that's my thought on that. I thought I'd just add that little thing in there. Now, I wanted to add more thoughts on the songs themselves. So I loved the nod to the glitter rock who inspired Joe, like Sweet's Action and Only After Dark. That was Ronson. From the inside, that was very different for them. That was more, I think, folk rock, if I remember right. But it was still amazing. It was still Def Leppard, you know? I Want to Be Your Hero was beautiful. There was great detail in it. Desert Song, I remember, sounded a lot, it had some Zeppelin influence in there. They got only the Def Leppard type power ballads, you know, very amazing. And you got the always beautiful and gorgeous harmonies of the boys. If you guys have been following my journey through all of these albums, you know that I love the boys' harmonies. They are incredible. Joe's vocals were outstanding in this album. I think they showed a lot of range and true talent and ability in this album, and I think this album really has pure craftsmanship from these men. I think that because it is kind of out of their comfort zone a little bit, doing different styles, and that shows that craftsmanship, that ability they have. It's different for them. They could have just stuck with what they knew, but they didn't. They stepped outside the box for them, and that shows their ability and what they can do, their craftsmanship. They can do a lot more than what people think they can. they have real talent. They are incredible. That's my thoughts on this album. I think it's overall a well-rounded, incredible album. Besides the little things that I didn't like the multiple versions of songs and the problems with the vocals, mix volumes. Other than that, I really enjoyed this album a lot more than, unfortunately, Adrenalized. So that's my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on this album? Leave it in the comment section down below. Next album is Slang. I hope you guys are ready for that. We start it next week. Whew, these go by so fast. And that's it for this video. And the next video is all about David Bowie. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are staying safe and well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.